안녕하십니까. 텔레비전 화면 속에서 비춰지는 우리 정치 현실을 보면서 우리나라 헌법 제1조가 가슴깊이 다가옵니다. 대한민국은 민주주의 공화국이다. 대한민국의 주권은 국민에게 있고 모든 권력은 국민으로부터 나온다. 더 이상 국민이 정치를 걱정하는 세상이 없었으면 하는 마음입니다. 바쁜 의정활동 속에서도 한국의 고등학생들을 만나기 위해서 한국을 찾은 외국 정치인이 있습니다. 그는 정치 경력이 20여 년이 넘습니다. 그 주인공은 올레토롤 스웨덴 오선 의원입니다. 이태석 리더십 스쿨 수업을 위해서 한국을 방문했는데요. 지난주 토요일과 일요일 서울과 경남 밀양에서 학생들을 만났습니다. 그 화면을 잠시 보여드리겠습니다.
So, hi, sorry, nice to see you. Hi. I know, I remember. Hi, you did it. Thanks.
My name.
Nice to meet you. Nice to see you again. Hi. I'm good. How have you been? See you thought you were going south today. Good.
This is photo.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
I'm happy to be here. Happy to be here. I say that. We have been quite successful, and we have a lot. Swedes are the number one coffee on 3.5% around collect money, but. Hi, good morning. Nice to meet you. The country is dominated by forests and it's the biggest party in Parliament. We stand for each other, try to find and see each other
정치 문화가 이 민족 가정의 아이들
It's of having high migration numbers.
스웨덴의 유명 정치인이 이웃집 아저씨처럼 다정하고 자상한 모습에 이 학생들도 무척 놀라고 신기해하는 표정이었습니다. 올레 의원은 일주일 동안 쉬지 않고 이태석재단과 함께 전국 많은 곳을 다녔는데요. 대학을 비롯해서 고등학교, 지자체도 방문해서 스웨덴의 정치, 행정, 교육에 대한 이야기를 전해주었습니다. 구수한 PD 공감 36.5에서는 올레토롤 의원이 지난 토요일 출국을 했는데요. 출국하기 전에 그와 특별한 인터뷰를 가졌습니다. 오늘은 20년 정치 경력의 스웨덴 현직 국회의원이 들려주는 정치에 대한 이야기를 소개해드리겠습니다.
Last winter, martial law was declared in South Korea. I'm curious to know what was the reaction in Sweden about this.
There isn't often news about Korean politics in Sweden. Normally, the news we're getting is about North Korea and missile testing and all that. And so we were very surprised to see that South Korea, which we view as a very stable democracy, was shook in that fashion. So we were shocked.
So the Korean president has been impeached due to political scandal. And do you have an idea of why this might continue to happen in a country like Korea?
I guess the political system gives a lot of power to the president. The presidential powers are very strong. And the more power you give to one person, the bigger the risk is of corruption as well. If you share responsibility, if you share power, the risk for corruption is less. So I think that might be one cause, and also that Korea is a very polarized society, and the election system produces one side who is the complete winner and the other side is the complete loser. So you have always this feeling of the losers want to take revenge on the winners, and the winners want to keep the losers at bay. Also, maybe the fact that you have an election system where the president can only be elected for one period. This, I think, would mean that the president never needs to worry about re-election. So he will do whatever he can to make his mark, because whatever happens, he's not running for the next presidency anyway. So I think that is sort of structural flaws, maybe, in the Korean system that causes these types of scandals.
So you've been elected to the parliament 5 times now. What is politics to you?
Politics is being the voice for others, it's representing others, to have the trust to speak for a number of people. I represent all of the people in my constituency, even those that didn't vote or those who voted again on some other candidate. It's my job to do my best for my constituency and my voters, and for my country, of course. So politics for me is speaking on behalf of others.
Korean politicians will often say that politics is about serving the people, that it's about giving back to the people. But we see some big differences between the application of that philosophy in Sweden versus in South Korea. What do you think might be the cause for this difference?
Every politician in a democracy has learned that this is what we serve the people. But for some, it seems to be more lip service. You say the words because it's expected of you to say those words about serving people. And so we are always trained that I do what I do for others, not for myself. Well, I can't speak for every party, but my party, the Social Democrats, we have a very strong tradition of selecting candidates who have proven themselves to be servant leaders. We are not interested in having candidates on our list that are just there to promote themselves or to become famous, or who want power just for power's sake,
So I'm aware that before you became a member of parliament, you were a school teacher. I'm curious to know about why you decided to pursue a career in politics.
Well, I don't think I ever made a decision that I am going to be a politician full-time. I was a young boy and a teenager, and I saw inequality in practice. I saw a racist system. I wanted to make a difference in my local community where I live, in my municipality.
Looking back on your career of 20 years as a member of parliament, do you feel satisfied?
I mean, making a difference is all about winning elections and persuading people and making people understand what is the common good, and hopefully get them to vote for your side of politics. And well, I think I'm not ashamed of my efforts. I think, but politics is hard because it's really hard to measure what output, what results are of my individual work. I'm just a cog in a big machinery, a big democratic machine who produces results. But I feel satisfied, and obviously my party has been okay with me. And the voters voted for me 5 times. So obviously I can't have done everything badly.
So when I visited your office in the Parliament building in Sweden, I was very surprised by how small the office was relative to what we see in Korea. Have you ever felt like you wish you had a bigger office, or did you ever feel inconvenienced by it?
We have other benefits as well. We have a decent salary. I mean, it's not very high, but it's not low either. I'm not complaining. And we get other benefits, and we have people working for the Parliament, civil servants, who are there to help us in our job, to do research for us, to be experts, to help us get the information we need. And people all over society, if I give them a call and say, hey, I'm a member of Parliament, I would like to have a meeting regarding this and that, everybody is very helpful and want to be of service to parliamentarians. So I've always had the feeling that I'm super privileged. I wake up every morning glad to have the opportunity to serve and get paid for it. So it's I never complain about the size of my office. It has a small couch too. It's very comfortable, the couch, so I'm happy with that.
Could you tell me a little bit more about some of the privileges that are given to members of parliament in Sweden?
We have, if your home address is more than 50 kilometers away from Stockholm and the parliament, you have a small flat in Stockholm. We get the opportunity to travel by public transport on the trains, but only for professional meetings. You can't go on vacation using that. If I use my car, my personal car, I drive to Stockholm, then I get per kilometer, I get like $1 per kilometer or something reimbursed for using my own car. And what else? I don't have my personal secretary or assistant keeping track of your calendar or book your meetings and travel, etc. You have to do that yourself. But there is a discussion in Sweden too, where a lot of people say, oh, the members of parliament, they have too much. Their salaries are too high. An assistant nurse only makes 1/3 of what they make. So we have this discussion going on in Sweden too about our benefits and our conditions.
So we see that in Korean politics, that rather than having a culture of discourse and debate, open debate, there's more finger pointing and painting the other side as all bad. Do you also see this type of phenomenon in Swedish politics?
We have like a consensus culture. We try to avoid conflict. We try to find common solutions. We try to be respectful to our opponents and understand that if you raise your voice and you start shouting at someone, you have lost the argument, so you shouldn't. And so this culture of consensus and compromise, that has helped Sweden in that has resulted in a decent and respectful climate of debate. However, this is challenged nowadays with the entrance of populist powers into politics. We have a very big right-wing populist party, which has and that's contributed to polarization and a more vulgarized tone of debate, painting each other in worst possible manner and using social media troll armies to insult and hate to further your own agenda. But still, I would say that Sweden is fortunate to have a consensus culture and a decent tone of debate.
What's the most important condition that needs to be met in order to have a culture of dialogue and discourse in politics?
Well, I would say trust between people. Everybody doesn't have to agree on everything, and you don't have to like your opponent or your fellow man, but you need to have a level of trust in society. Citizens need to know that the government is working for the common good, even though they don't agree with their policies, different parties, even though I know that we have different policies and different ideologies, we reason differently. I need to trust that their intentions are good, that they are here in Parliament debating with me because they want to improve society. I need to be respectful and trust that they want to do good. And if we have this level of trust, that's a precondition for a more constructive societal climate. But this trust level, it doesn't come out of the blue. You can't just press a button and then you have higher trust levels.
It's said that the empathy index is very high in Sweden. Is there any relation between this and the education system of Sweden?
Certainly, I think so. Of course, empathy is something that needs to be developed and trained. Not all babies are born with a high empathy level. And we try to promote this in the way we raise our children. We try to focus on making them be able to understand other kids. We don't have, we do a lot of group activities, learning together in a group and producing stuff together in a group in the classroom. This also helps with empathy. And so the education system absolutely has something to do with the empathy levels.
What's the most important thing that's taught in schools in Sweden in order to help foster a righteous leader in the next generation?
Well, I think apart from what I said about empathy, to learn how to be considerate of others instead of just having students compete against each other and do rankings of students, separating them from each other. We try to foster collaboration and working together as a group, and this is something that is good for servant leadership. You can see in Swedish politics, I think we fostered pretty good leaders, but also in business. We see how Swedish businesses are very successful, and Swedish executives and CEOs are quite good at leading large organizations, reaching goals, while having a sustainable approach to business, both economically, but also how you treat staff, how you can combine family life and work life, how we can do good in the world as a business as well.
For over 2 years now, you've had a chance to meet many high school students in South Korea. Mm-hmm. What are some of the impressions you've had about high school students here?
They're curious to learn about the world around them and outside of Korea, and they are ambitious and extremely polite and disciplined and courteous, and they are full of questions. I have come to enjoy the open Q&A sessions where the students themselves can formulate their questions and ask for advice on what they are interested in. I know they are super busy studying and have to prepare for exams and all that, but they still take the time to come to the academy to learn about being a better person, being a better leader, and how to help others in the world. That's very impressive for me and inspiring for me as well.
I'm curious to hear your thoughts on how you would evaluate the Leadership Academy.
I think it's quite a unique place for students in Korea to come to learn about how other countries view the world, how other leaders. We have a series of different lecturers from different fields of society, so the students are given an opportunity to gain new perspectives, and I think that's very important. I'm eager to see what's waiting around the corner and want to contribute in any way I can.
In a way, fate has brought you to meet Father I태석, right, Father John Lee. If you could give him a message or send him a message, what might you say to him?
Thank you for being an inspiration to me and so many others, and I would tell him that he would be proud of his legacy if he could meet with all these students in Korea trying to work and live their life in the spirit of his example, and hundreds and hundreds of Korean kids, thanks to his example. He would be happy too, I think, to see the underprivileged and poor people in South Sudan still being supported by Korean Foundation in his name.
인터뷰 내용을 어떻게 보셨습니까? 다시 한번 우리나라 헌법 제1조가 떠오릅니다. 대한민국의 주권은 국민에게 있고 모든 권력은 국민으로부터 나온다. 대한민국의 미래를 위해서는 국민을 진심으로 섬기는 지도자를 양성하는 것이 정말 중요하다는 것을 다시 한번 마음 깊이 새깁니다. 한 가지 반가운 소식 전해드리겠습니다. 이태석재단이 아주 큰 상을 받았습니다. 제2회 무산문화대상 사회문화부분 상 수상자로 선정됐는데요. 상금이 1억 원이나 됩니다. 시상식을 주관하는 재단법인 설악 만해사상 실천 선양에는 이태석재단을 선정한 이유를 다음과 같이 밝혔습니다. 아프리카, 우크라이나 지원 사업이 상생의 정신과 나눔의 고결한 의미를 전파하고 인도적 위기를 해결하기 위한 공동의 노력으로 확대된 성과를 높이 평가한다. 이렇게 선정 이유를 밝혔습니다.
이태석 신부님의 상생화합의 정신과 생명 존중의 사상을 가장 잘 이어받고 있는 단체라고 생각했기 때문에 심사위원회에서 만장일치로 수상 영예를 드리기로 결정을 했습니다.
이번 수상은 이태석 재단에게 큰 의미가 있습니다. 첫 번째로는 재단이 그동안 열정적으로 추진하고 있는 교육 장학 사업이 인정을 받았다는 점입니다. 또 하나는 이 상이 불교단체에서 주는 상입니다. 이는 이태석 재단의 활동이 종교의 영역을 넘어서 우리 사회의 중요한 구심점 역할을 하고 있음을 말해주는 것입니다. 그동안 이태석 재단이 힘내도록 용기와 격려를 해주신 후원회원님 그리고 많은 분들께 다시 한번 고맙다는 말씀 드립니다. 구수한 PD 공감 36.5 오늘 순서는 여기서 마치겠습니다. 감사합니다.